Hey, this is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Sean of Lovely Machine. And Sean, where are you joining us from this evening?
Indianapolis, Indiana, at my apartment.
Indianapolis, Indiana. My team just whooped some butt out there.
My dad's always been more of the football guy. I've tried. I'm guessing it's football that you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, him and my uncle, they've always been really deep into that stuff. And it's fun to watch on like when there's get-togethers and stuff, but I can never follow it.
Right, right. Well, I mean, you're into music, so I mean, that's a plus because if he wasn't, we wouldn't have, Lovely Machine.
Yeah, very true.
So tell me about that name, man. How'd you guys come up with that?
That I have to give credit to our mutual, like all of our friend Rod Pyers. He lives in Florida. Our manager actually was talking to like they knew each other for a long time. He managed his old band, and that was one of the names that he was floating around for his solo project. And we were racking our brains trying to find one for weeks and weeks, and turned into like a couple months. But like Jordan, our manager Jordan, he just threw that out there. It's like, hey, Rod has this name he might not use. What do we think of it? And I mean, it stuck. I mean, we I don't even know how many names we threw around. It had to be 20, 30.
Hmm.
Some of them were really dumb, but like that one just it stuck. So I got to give credit where credit's due on that one.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, I like the name. It's different.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
definitely wanted something more. I hate using the word unique because it sounds fucking pretentious, but like it's not something like super ambiguous, like some kind of weird like shapes or currents or
mhm.
any of those bands. Well, like those are cool bands and everything, and like
ACDC,
yeah.
a current.
But we wanted something that's and also something that not everyone's taken because sometimes you find a cool band name and you figure out there's three or four bands to some degree name something really similar.
Right.
And I mean, it's good for us when we Google Lovely Machine. We're the only Lovely Machine that pops up.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, every time I've looked it up, you guys have popped up. So you're considered a hip hop rock quartet.
Yeah.
So are we talking like Linkin Park type or more
Um, I
like,
guess the rapping part, I don't know. I don't know if Linkin Park would be the right answer. It's more like kind of in the vein of newer Bring Me the Horizon stuff, but I brought a lot of like I really love like Post Malone and Halsey and like The Weeknd and like those type of like really kind of atmospheric things
mhm.
because I love that type of like darker pop hip hop music and really cool like big atmospheric sounds, and it's kind of more like melded that with just what I grew up listening to. And as far as like the vocals and stuff goes, one of my favorite bands of all time is 3 Days Grace, and every 5 minutes I get told I sound like their old singer Adam. So
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So the new single without heroin, um, great song, and there's many different ways that can be taken, what the meaning of it was, but from what I got from it, it was more of like a kind of based on a tragic, toxic type love.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily about I think I was probably thinking of a specific thing when I wrote it, but it was more just about dealing with because I've had family members deal with addiction. I've had people I know go through really bad relationships, and it's just when you're stuck on something, whether it be like a person or just a drug, a habit, like literally anything, like you feel like you really need like it's killing you, you need to get away from it, but at the same time, you can't keep yourself away no matter how hard you try to. And I mean, I've definitely been in those situations before, and I know a lot of loved ones that have, whether it be with drugs or a person or
Hmm.
whatever it might be. So I feel like that's where I was kind of going with it. And it's cool because we've had people reach out and say that it's helped them through a breakup and all those different things. And like, I mean, that's good because I don't necessarily say that I'm set out to like save people or like necessarily help people. I'm just doing this because I love to make music. But that definitely means a lot when you hear that, especially from a brand new band. Like we've only been active for going on a month and a half now.
Right. It was
Just launched everything.
October, wasn't it, of 2022?
Yep. And it's crazy, man, because we launched then, but we've had songs done for like a year. Like we recorded Heroin along with five other songs 2 summers ago. So like we got done July, rolled around till that next October, and it was a long time.
Well, I mean, but sometimes it's worth the wait, you know. And I feel like it's really cool that, you know, somebody reached out to you and let you know that, because even though you're not writing music for that purpose, it's always possible for it to touch somebody that way.
Yeah.
You know, I think any kind of music can do that. You can hear, you know, any song and it can make you think of, you know, something in your past, or, you know, can make you smile, can make you cry, can make you pissed off, you know. So it's I really am, you know, I think that's great that somebody was able to reach out to you and tell you that, because I mean, it means something different to everybody.
Yeah. And I've come from a pretty musical family. Like my dad, he's more in the vein of like Neil Young, Bob Dylan, like
Hmm.
that type of thing. He was always an acoustic guitar in him. He's always been like a songwriter. That's been his main thing. And so I learned a lot from him through the years about how, because he's big on like the storytelling aspect of writing music, and just because he's a kid of the 70s and 80s, and that's
Right.
he was more into the soft rock type stuff and just the more storytellers, I guess. But in like for the long time, I was not good at writing lyrics, man. I would try like because funny enough, years ago, I was into rap music first, like early 2000s, like fucking 50 Cent, Ludacris, all that stuff.
Right.
And I tried to rap and it was fucking horrendous. Like there was a notebook of like stuff I wrote down, and I'm really glad I don't know where it is anymore. We've moved. It's probably lost in years ago in one of the houses we moved. But so that happened, and funny enough, I didn't even get into like guitar until maybe 12, 13, because my uncle played, my dad played, and it was just there was always something around there, like siblings and everything. And
Right.
I finally got my first guitar for Christmas when I always forget. It was either 11 or 12, but I remember because my parents like put notes around the tree, like giving me hints where it was, and like I finally got it. And I'll never forget. It was an Epiphone Les Paul. It was an Epiphone Les Paul Junior with
Hmm.
like the amp came with it and everything. And man, I didn't put that thing down for weeks. I had that
So,
little I was learning songs.
did you take lessons from your dad and your uncle, or did you already kind of know what you was doing when you picked it up?
I mean, I just kind of fumbled around for a while. I My dad taught me some chords, and a family friend who he's not blood related, but I call him my uncle because he's been my dad's best friend since they were like 8 or 9. It's one
Right.
of those things where they're like, and he's 50s and they're both in their 50s and they're still just as close. But he was always the one that had like more of the chops and the lead player. So we would always go over there and he would show me some stuff. But my dad showed me the basic chords,
Hmm.
and I discovered YouTube early on because I this was like 2007, 2008 when I first started playing.
Hmm.
But I discovered YouTube and I found the world of like guitar covers because I never knew how to read tabs or anything. I
Right.
still can't read music. I can kind of sight read vocal music a little bit because I was a choir kid in high school. But yeah, from there, I just looked up guitar covers from bands like early on. Like Avenged Sevenfold was one of the first bands I really like. Holy shit, like, what is this?
Right.
Like, I remember seeing the backcountry music video on MTV back in the day in Fuse, and seeing like Sinister Gates. That was because I was a guitar player first. This is only the second band I've ever actually done like lead vocals in.
Oh, okay. So, I
Yeah,
mean, go ahead.
no, you're good. I
I
feel
was just gonna say,
like
which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the lead vocals or guitar?
I've always loved singing, and it's fun, but it is nerve wracking, man. Because even in the band I was in before, I was still playing guitar and singing.
Mm-hmm.
For this band, like I'm just naked with no guitar, no nothing, just front and center with completely vulnerable. And I like that. Like we just had our first show a few weeks back and it felt good, like to just open up in a way that I haven't really done before. Cause I don't want to say I was hiding behind my guitar, but it's you have that security thing, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's
But
cool. I mean, so how'd that turn out? I mean, do you guys have a good reaction from the crowd?
yeah, it was good. It was one of our really good friends there. Um, she started a brand new band and it was their first show also.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really cool, just we were all friends and it was just a good time. It was a good environment for sure. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
there were a few hiccups like any new band would. Like it's our first show, you know, but it was good.
Yeah, I mean, but all that matters is that you're getting yourself out there and playing, and I mean that you guys had fun, the crowd had fun. I mean, that's the whole point of live music.
Yeah. It
So,
felt good too.
like your video, who shot that for you?
His name is Brian Cox. He's based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's worked with like most notably, I guess, Bring Me the Horizon. Like he helped direct some of their music videos and he did a lot of their like behind the scenes stuff and they were working on new material. And he's actually like started working with them again. He's been out on tour with them for a while, but I we found him because we're really good friends with these guys in a band called Red Star.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to Brian for all their stuff. And their bass player Eric, me and him have been pretty close friends since I met them and everything. So he put me in contact with Brian and then we just talked and we hit it off. And he's done 2 videos now and we're gonna be shooting 3 more in January. Yeah,
Cool. So,
we just came out with another song.
was the video for Heroin, was that more of his vision or your vision or a combination of the two?
I'd say more of his. Like he brought the whole like gas mask thing and a lot of the shots because I used to like draw and be an artist, but like the whole thinking about videos and concepts like that, I maybe in the future I'll get better at it and want to delve in more like, but I just I don't know. I've never been good at that whole thing. Like I like music, making music is one thing, but doing videos and concepts and treatments, that's a whole nother animal. But
Right.
he brought a lot of those ideas to the table and he really like came full circle because we shot 2 videos in one day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we shot that one in like 4 or 5 hours, and the song Picture Frame that just came out, we shot that one in even less time. So
Cool. Yeah, I haven't heard Picture Frame yet. With the press release that I got, I just heard,
yeah,
Heroin. I'll have to check that out. I really like your guys' sound. Like I said, I really dug Heroin. It was just I think the whole song itself was just so well put together with, the the singing and the rapping and the just all of it just fit really well. And that's like today that's a pretty big big thing because how people you got your metalcore and you got this and you got that, but you still um I guess where you go, you said you're putting yourself more of bands like who was the one that you said that you put yourself more like not Linkin Park, but
well, like some Linkin Park, but I personally take a lot of inspiration from like what Bring Me the Horizon's been doing, just
right.
because they always seem to really just they push like they've been the trendsetters. They push a lot of stuff forward the past few years, and them and like a lot of just Post Malone, Halsey, especially for like vocal melodies and stuff, because I got into doing writing pop music a few
Mm-hmm.
years ago, just because I kind of got burnt out on doing heavy music from my last band. And funny enough, Heroin actually started as a straight up pop song. Like there's a version on my computer that's no guitars, no like high vocals, nothing, not heavy at all. It was literally started as just a hip hop pop song that I was gonna do for like a side project, I guess I was gonna do. But
Right.
when this band started, Jordan had all these handful of songs that I wrote, just pop songs, and it was like, This is a really good song. Do you want to just try to band it up, I guess, like make it a little bit more rock? Like, so that's what I did. I changed the key. I brought it in because I've Mitch Marlowe produced our the songs that we've done,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we're gonna be maybe self-producing at least the next couple because I've been recording for probably 10, 11 years. So I do all the pre-pro and like I've been getting into more of that stuff. So I literally just took the session as the pop one and just changed the key, added some guitars, like some drums, and it was really seamless.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
like maybe you can kind of hear it if you listen to some of the production parts, because like some of the verses are just very, very mellow and like I'm glad you think it sounds like cohesive because when I first put it together, I'm like, I don't want this to sound disjointed, like it's just rock and then just a straight
no,
hip
I know
hop.
it.
And then yeah.
It flows, man. It does. It flows good, and it Bring Me the Horizon. They're a great band. I actually, on my way home from work, our local radio station popped on Happy Song, and like that's always just a good one. Of course, they cut out the best parts of it, but it's it's kind of cool that you guys draw inspiration from somebody like that because I mean they're not real old either. So I mean I think they're what, maybe about 10 or so years old. I can't remember exactly when they
I
started.
want to say their first stuff came out in like 2000. I think they formed in like the mid 2000s, like
Yeah.
2005, 2006.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember hearing them way back when they did like deathcore shit, like
Oh yeah.
straight up crazy. So like I got to see them from like the evolution, and it's crazy, man. Like hearing them do a sound, and then like 6 months later, every band's doing that sound, and then it just kind of repeats and
Mhm.
repeats and repeats, you know. And
Have you ever heard like older Avenged Sevenfold, like Unholy Confessions?
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that video played on the. Did you ever watch the channel Fuse? It was kind of like alternative MTV.
yes.
That was my. I used to watch that channel all the time, and that video and the Backcountry video played so much. Like,
Huh. Yeah, I remember sitting and we had gotten the one of the kids a oh the comes with the guitar, the drums, all that stuff,
mhm.
the video game. Anyways, we was they one of the songs on there was Beast and the Harlot. And if you played that on expert mode, God, no, nope.
Oh
It's
man, I was never good at Guitar Hero. Like I've just because you hear about people that like start doing that and then they start playing real guitar. Like I was pretty decent at real guitar, and then I still was never good at Guitar Hero. So
I've actually seen videos of musicians that are phenomenal guitarists, and they'll pick that thing up and they're like, I can't do this. I mean, I think it's more of because you're pushing buttons, you're not touching strings.
yeah.
I mean, it's I played guitar for a little while. I wasn't the greatest at it, but I know that it's a feeling. You
Mhm.
feel where the strings are, you feel where your hands are, and
Yeah, it's a different thing for sure.
right. So you guys are getting ready to shoot a couple more videos.
Yep.
And any more? So you just released a single. What about another one in 2023?
We're planning on releasing a third, like, because like we're doing videos for three more, and we have like we go through Bloodbath distribution, and right now we have it for three songs, and then the third song is going to be coming out at some point early next year. I We don't have a date set yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean we have let's see, two. We have four, not counting the two we just put out. We
Right.
have four that are finished. I don't even know how many demos we have, like, because I write every day. So
That's
we
what you
have a
were
lot
saying.
of, yeah, we have a lot of different songs just floating around, but we have a lot of material we're sitting on. So,
Yeah, that's what you said. When we first connected before I started recording, that you was working on some new music.
mhm.
So just, I mean, how, where? do you draw most of your inspiration from? Where do you draw most of your songwriting from?
Like lyrically, vocally, or just like all of like,
Just
because
all of it, like lyrically, where does like do you just sit there and you think, man, I had this shit ass weekend last week. I'm gonna write a bad song about it or whatever. Or I mean, is it from
honestly, man, it comes lyrics like melodies come pretty fast. Lyrics just kind of happen. Like I'll sit down and I'll have like a riff idea or something and I'll put it down, or it'll literally be like I'll be at work or I'll be out doing something and I'll have a vocal melody pop into my head and I'll just sing like phonetic crap like da, 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 like not words. And then so I just sit here in my little, I'm not gonna call it a studio, but like it's my little like recording space and I have my microphone and everything set up. So I'll lay like a basic idea down and then I'll just kind of hum whatever melody comes to my head. Sometimes random words will just pop out of it. And then I'll listen back and just, okay, well, what what fits with like what words fit with what I'm trying to feel like syllable wise or whatever. And sometimes I'll find a phrase out of that whole thing. And then I'll just start building the story around that one line.
Mhm.
Yeah, because a lot of times because half the time I'm bad with writing lyrics down because I'll just like get into a mode where I'll be recording and I'll just like think of a line, sing it, think of another line, sing it. And then by the time I like piece the song together and then I have to like write it down and figure it out after the fact or whatever. So,
Right.
because
Yes. I'm
I
sorry.
wouldn't say, yeah, you're good. I wouldn't say I'm freestyling because I'm not good at that. I'm nowhere near like Juice World, how he was with like, he could just freestyle for an hour, but like, I come up with a lot of stuff off the top of the head, especially like if I'm in a mode, like if I'm in a creative zone and I'm just like going.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. So like when you guys go into the studio and like you're saying, okay, I've got these lyrics, or is it the guys come in like we got this melody, we got this, all put together. Can you put some lyrics to it? I mean, or do you guys just go all in there and just like bam, you just kind of knock it out?
Um, Honestly, like I come up with a lot of just like random song ideas and like we have a group chat and I'll just like send random ideas and then after I get like the basic idea, we'll finish it all together. But as far as lyrics and melodies go, that's kind of all me. I just kind of sit by myself and just think of it like sometimes after I'm doing my process where I just kind of like sing a line, think of it. I'll like have it all down and then I'll read through it and make sure like, does this make sense or did it just sound cool? Because some lyrics are like, oh, it sounds cool when I say it. But when you read it back, it doesn't fucking mean anything.
Right.
So yeah, I'll go through and like make sure it's a cohesive story throughout and like there's no weird grammar stuff or I mean sometimes I'll bend words to make it sound cool because fuck it, who cares? You know?
Right. Well, I mean, and sometimes that works too. I mean, you just like the sound cool, the words or those parts that sound cool in a song. I mean, look at Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, Christ, they got so many songs that have like gibberish in it, and it still
Oh yeah.
sounds, it flows with the song, so it still sounds good. But what about hitting the road in 2023? You guys looking to get out and do some touring?
Um, that just depends. We definitely want to play more shows. We have that planned. Um, as far as touring goes, that's just gonna be if if the right opportunity presents itself or if we fight like if we find something, because I mean touring's expensive, especially now, like
Oh yeah,
with gas being how it is and just a lot like some of the venues have closed and like everybody's kind of touring at the same time now. So it's a little more difficult, but that's we'd like to, that's the
yeah.
plan. Like we definitely want to get on the road some point next year. Right now, I think the plan is to get some more like just keep getting this material out because right now we want to just try to release a single every 6 to 7 weeks if we
Mhm.
can. And so we just got to make sure we have constant material coming and we're definitely going to be recording like getting some more songs like new songs finished early next year.
Okay.
So
So is it an EP or an LP?
right now we're just doing the singles thing.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure at some point after we release a handful, we'll probably like make it like, oh, here's like finally here's an EP, you know. But right now it's just it's more cost effective because when you push a single, you could just spend more money on advertising on the marketing side,
Right.
especially since we're wanting to do a music video for every song. That would not be super feasible if we just dropped them all at once because it would be way too expensive. So this way we get to each song gets proper marketing and good like a proper time for people to actually like find it and know what it is, you know.
Hmm.
Because I've definitely released music in the past where like I didn't do it right and no one knew it existed.
Right. And that makes sense, man. I mean, I talked to a guy and he the way he explained it made a lot of sense was he's like, we have, 7 singles that we've released. He's like, and we're doing it 2 to 3 weeks at a time. He's like, so he goes, you think about the attention span of people nowadays. He says, typically one of them songs is gonna last about 2 weeks, and then they're gonna be on to the next thing. Like, okay, well that's I'm bored with that. He says, so then we hit you in the face with another one, and then we hit you in the face with another one. He says, if we, release an EP or an LP, then it's all at once, and then in 2 weeks you're bored with the entire thing.
Mhm.
So it makes a lot of sense in every aspect.
Yeah, just look at TikTok, man. People are blowing up off of 10, 15-second clips. So like you really got to compete for that people's attention, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, when I
that's what we're trying to do now is just figure out in between releasing the songs, you got to still think of stuff to do to keep people engaged, you know?
hmm
And you can't just put out a song once and like, here it is, listen to it. See you in a couple months when we put out another one. You have to like think of, oh, can we do like a playthrough video or can we do this or that? So we're trying to think of some more stuff to do to like put out to push these songs, you know, whether it be studio videos or random stuff. Like we're still figuring TikTok out. I still am.
Yeah, I don't even use it. I've been told I should, but
It's
you
a
know,
if you're not careful, man, you can waste a good couple hours and not even realize it.
right. And I mean this when I first started doing it, I thought, hey, this is, kind of cool, it's unique, blah blah. And then I, posted a couple of YouTube videos and seeing that, there's thousands of people doing it. But I don't care. It's for me, it's not. I have a 9 to 5. Well, not really a 9 to 5, but a regular job that that's my source of income. This is more of like a passion. This is more of something I enjoy doing because of my love of music and talking to musicians and meeting new people and listening and catching out new music. I mean, I did two videos on two interviews on Sunday with bands from Italy, and if it wasn't for these publicists that I work with and everything and doing this, I would have never known of them bands. And I'm gonna tell you, do you know who Dream Theater is?
Mhm.
Okay, one of the bands, that's who they draw influence from. And I mean, they are flat out amazing. I mean, they are the Italian Dream Theater.
Yeah.
And, it's just, it's more of just a fun thing for me. Yes, I'd like to make some money off of it someday, but right now I'm just trying to, get myself out there just like you guys are, I mean, with every video that I post, more views that I get, the more subscribers I get, it's just how this world works now.
It's the same thing with us, man. Like we just put another song, another song, another song, and like things just kind of keep growing. Like a month ago, we didn't have anybody knowing who we were, and now it's like nothing crazy, but like it's something to be proud of, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we're only about 3.5 hours away from each other, but again, I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for your publicist.
Yeah.
So it's because I mean, it's not like I travel to Indianapolis for the to check out the local music scene. We got a
There's nothing here, man.
we got a pretty decent one here. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see you guys out this way, man. Because like I said, I really enjoyed the song "Heroin." I have to check out the new one it's just put out, and yeah, Sean, I appreciate your time, man, and I
Appreciate
appreciate
you, man.
appreciate what you guys are doing, and keep at it, and it's hopefully we'll see you out this way.
Yeah, and hopefully we can talk again later on when we have like a lot more stuff happening.
Hey man, I feel honored to be here at the beginning. So
I thank you, man. This has been a good time.
all right, buddy, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.